And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition here of the WardiTV Monday. Welcome one and all to our weekly Wardi Monday. I'm of course your ZvP with you and joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well. Welcome one and all to one of our many catch-up streams. Bearing in mind, of course, that this was during the period where we were not covering the WardiTV Mondays live, so we've been getting them via replays and covering them after the fact. But we're here, we are live. We are jumping into our initial quarterfinals, jumping into our best of three. Bearing in mind here for today's broadcast, we'll be going through the quarterfinals, into the semis, into the grand finals thereafter. So this is going to be our first morning broadcast. Later on this evening, of course, we do have the podcast. That's going to be later on this evening. And we have our second TLMC judging stream tomorrow at this very time. Let's go. Let us go as we are jumping into our first series. It's going to be a best of three between Rogue and ShoWTimE. ZvP to start things off. Let's go. Let us go. And I'm excited to see these two challenge each other here, as ShoWTimE is not the most consistent of players when it comes to online tournaments. ShoWTimE does play from time to time, but not the most, again, not the most consistent, not compared to players like Max, players like Clem, some of the other European players that do compete in almost everything. So it's a bit of a rarer sight to see the Delta Cut himself. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Celestial Enclave, we have the German Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. It is ShoWTimE. For Sentinels. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg. It is Rogue. Let's go. Let us go. And also, very quickly, a big shout out to Yoko in the chat. Thank you so much for subscribing for not the first time, but for, of course, I believe it was 6 months in a row. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Ay. Este Yoko. Gracias, papi. Gracias. Was that Yoko3601 for 8 months? My apologies. 8 months in a row with Twitch Prime. Thank you. Hope you appreciate the content, the casting, and the StarCraft. Thank you. As we're getting into our first series, first things first, Rogue, he's fortunately unnatural. Already a bit of a shaky start here for Rogue, forced to expand at a bit of an awkward location. This can be punished, this can be abused, and we'll see how ShoWTimE will approach the mid game. Welcome, of course, to Celestial Enclave. Celestial Enclave is one of the more macro maps in the map pool. Larger map, longer rush distance by ground. Longer and later games are favored on a map like Celestial Enclave, so I would typically expect to see a more greedier, tech-heavy start out of ShoWTimE, building up on 3 to 4 bases before moving out across the map. But given the early game here, ShoWTimE has the option to be more aggressive, to be more assertive, and to be in the face of Rogue. When it comes to our players here, when it comes to their preferred styles, Rogue, he has been very all-in, he has been very aggressive as of late, going for some very cheeky builds in ZvP. We saw that against Trigger in RSL not too long ago, in the both series. Actually, they did have a series in the lower brackets. Likewise, they did face off in the upper bracket as well. So we have seen them face off, and we'll see how they approach each other. Or we'll see how Rogue does approach the ZvP matchup this time. We shall see. For now, we're going to be opening up. Everything's looking normal so far. We're soon to get our tech of choice, so it should be a Stargate opener, but there's a chance we see a Twilight Council. A much lower chance of that happening here. Eyes are going to be on ShoWTimE, and there it is. It is, in fact, going to be the Stargate. Stargate open out of ShoWTimE. Everything's looking normal so far. Everything's looking standard. Likewise across the map, Rogue is droning, Rogue is saturating, does pull out of gas, so we're not rushing into any fast lair, not yet. We'll keep an eye on the gas income, and the big sign here for Rogue is going to be how he spends his next set of gas. Whether he goes into an Eva chamber, into +1 melee, whether he goes for a fast roach warren or a faster lair. When it comes to Rogue, I'm leaning towards faster tech and faster lair, less so Eva chamber into +1. Rogue, he may be forced to get into a macro game though. That might be the name of the game here on Celestial. There have been some builds where Rogue, he goes for a very tech heavy start, very greedy, going into fast hydras and going into fast lurkers. That is something that Rogue does whip out from time to time, so that's going to be in the back of my mind. But I don't know how good it's going to be to rush into lurkers here, where it's easier to turtle up and easier to get into sky toss. So eyes are on Rogue. So far, we're joining, we're saturating. Safety pylon here at the natural to keep eyes on any kind of drop play or any kind of night display. Likewise, first oracles in production, and we'll soon move out. Soon move out across the map. Oh. Do have a couple of links poking in. As we mentioned before, I guess we didn't kind of get fully into it, but there is a pocket expansion here on Celestial. That's one of the reasons why we do see a lot of longer, later game states. Ideally, you save the pocket expansion as a 4th or 5th expansion. You do not want to take it early on, and here it comes. It would be 3rd. Nice surround of the Adept, though. Very nice. Adept does get surrounded. Expansion is almost taken. There we go. There's that 3rd. At the same time, the Oracle does get across the map. Spore, ooh, a couple of seconds too late. 2 drones go down, but only 2 workers. Could have been a lot worse. ShoWTimE being a little bit more conservative here with the Oracle as he pulls away as the shields are stripped away from the Oracle. Doesn't take any hull damage. So no hull damage here across the map. At the same time, we did have some Lings. Oh, they slipped into the main. That should not have happened. The wall was open. Lings, they slipped in. They got a full scout. Nothing to really see here in the main or in the natural, but they confirmed that at least, as they're still running around. Still rallying in the main, and meanwhile across the map, Evo Chamber first. Ooh, okay, so typically an early Evo Chamber is for +1 melee. This chamber is behind the middle line. Rogue is trying to hide his style, hide his tech of choice. Again, we're expecting melee, but we'll see if he does something more sinister. Ah, there it is, melee's on the way. This is the first sign of kind of the direction of this series or of this game. This is very standard. +1 melee, into Hydras, into Ling, Hydra, Ultra is kind of the go-to. Now, there is a slim chance here, and we have been seeing this from time to time as of late, is +1 melee Ling into Spire, into Muta play. That's also something to bear in mind, but that's very rare. It's very, very rare to go into Mutas, to go into Spire play. Not in general, but specifically off of +1 melee Lings. Usually, if you're going into Mutas, it's off of Roaches, not Ling production in ZvP. Meanwhile, nice around. Oh, no battery? Ah, no battery here in position. Adept does get surrounded. We have more Adepts here trying to move out, but alas, they do get forced back. 2 probe kills, delay here on the push, and ShoWTimE is stuck at home. He is delayed. Meanwhile, the triple Oracle does move out. Queens are in position. Ooh, the Oracles, they take a lot of hits. They take a lot of damage, and they barely do get away. Thankfully, no Oracle does go down, but that's a lot of hull damage. Meanwhile, standard follow-up +1 Blink Stalkers out of ShoWTimE. Going +1 and Blink. Ooh, once again, the move command. Yeah, 2 Adepts, they get caught out. Yeah, a little bit sloppy here from ShoWTimE as he's going to get surrounded. And nice catch here from Rogue, catching out with the Adepts. Oracles are a little bit late, but they will arrive to support. Somewhat. Yeah, a lot of energy gets spent. Behind this, working towards Archons, working towards Storm. Standard follow-up here by ShoWTimE. And again, we're still expecting the Hydra Den. So Oracles are poking in. They did scout the Evo Chamber earlier. Chamber was scouted. Lings, they pick away at the wall. Hopefully ShoWTimE does actually get eyes on this soon. Uh-oh. Otherwise, this can lead into an all-in. Meanwhile, as we mentioned earlier, +1 melee into Spire play is quite rare. You usually see it with Roaches, and hey, we see both. So it is going to be Spire, it is going to be Mutas, and there's that Roach Horn. As we mentioned, they usually come hand in hand, but usually it's a Roach opener into Mutas, not Roaches alongside Mutas. So we're getting there in a bit of an awkward way. I do like this though, because this is very unusual. It's kind of, oh god, never mind, she's going to get scouted. We'll get into it. As Adept say, shade into the natural, drone's going to be going down, and they get a full scout. They confirm the Spire, baby. They finally get across the map. Well worth it. 5 drone kills and a scout of the main and the scout of the natural, scout of the tech. So what I was going to say here is that because the Evo Chamber was scouted earlier, there's a lower chance it's going to be Spire. So I like the idea of going for the Spire and going for Mutas to try to catch his opponent off guard. But he was just scouted, right? Now, ShoWTimE is fully aware the Muta play is getting ready back at home, throwing down cannons, throwing down shield batteries. He is set up defensively. Lings, they will get 1 cannon. And they don't quite get the Archon, barely not. And so far, ShoWTimE is holding. Nice revelation. Archons, they do catch the flanking, or they do flank the Lings. And behind this, we're still going to +1 flyer attack. +2 range, sorry, +2 melee on the way, infestation bit as well. Based on the fact that we're not going to roach speed or +1 range, it looks like the plan here is to go into ultra tech off of the Hive. It feels like that's the go-to. We'll see if Rogue spends his gas on Mutas. What's the plan? Remember, he knows he's been scouted. There it is. 9 Mutas going to be on the way. It's a big investment here by Rogue. Oh, but we already have Phoenixes. Yeah, Phoenixes are amassing. It's a bold move for Rogue to just double down after being scouted. Often the strength of Muta play is the surprise factor, right? Is being able to hide the tech, hide the build, and then catch your opponent off guard. But to be seen this early and this quickly, like, it's very bold, it's very ambitious, it's a little bit cocky. We'll see if we can make something happen with this. Now, what is true is that ShoWTimE doesn't know, right? For all ShoWTimE knows, there was a cancel. There could have been a cancel on the Spire. ShoWTimE is moving out. Gets Revelation. You can see that the Mutas intentionally hide themselves from the Phoenixes, from the army. Oh, now he sees. Now he sees, now he knows. Phoenix production continues. We have +1 flyer attack or +1 air attack here for ShoWTimE. Second Stargate to Fleet Beacon into Phoenix range. And we'll see what Rogue can get done. Gets into the main. Stalker's in position. Catches one Muta already. One Muta goes down. The rest of the army does respond, catching out a second, a third Muta. And Rogue is getting punished. The wall is going to fall. The Oracle's in position. Stalkers as well. And Rogue is not finding any damage. And this is a big investment. Now we have the Hive on the way. As we mentioned earlier, based on the upgrades and based on the trajectory of this game, it did feel like we're going into Ultra Tech, but Ultras are quite expensive. The upgrades, the tech itself, kind of splating, Ultra Speed, takes a while to really get into. And these Mutas so far have not paid for themselves. Now, they're still alive for the most part, and they can still find some damage. So far, Revelation does allow ShoWTimE to rotate over in time. He's keeping up with the Mutas. Oh! Gets one, gets two, gets three. 3 Mutas going down. At the same time, nice use here of the rocks falling earlier. The Lings, they slip into the natural as the cannons are by some time. ShoWTimE is pushing. And Rogue is vulnerable. Rogue cannot stop this main army. Ay, ay, ay. Lings is trying to force a distraction. Main army does push forward. Muta's going for the counterattack. Phoenixes are lying in wait. Who catches who? Oh! Yeah, Phoenixes, they catch the Mutas. Mutas get caught. Expansion goes down. Lings, they're still finding damage across the map. Ooh, Banelings, they connect. There we go. We do have, what, 18 Banelings on the way. Banelings are finishing. These connections. They shut down a lot of the charge lots, but the Archons are pushing in. And still plenty of Phoenixes. Yeah, still plenty of Phoenixes. The Storms are pushing forward as well. We do storm the army. Oh, God. Massive Storms. Lings, they do get on top of the High Templar. And with that, the Lings are melting. The Mutas as well. And ShoWTimE is overwhelming. He overwhelms the army. Snowballs out of control. Breaks through the Mutas. Breaks through the Lings. GG gets called. The 1G. And ShoWTimE takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very, what did we say? Bold move. Very bold move for Rogue to still go into Mutas after being scouted. Very, very bold move. Again, like there is still that surprise factor. Even if your Spire gets scouted, even if that's the case, you can, I mean, we saw that Rogue was hiding his Mutas. Despite that, he was trying to stay away from the Phoenixes and hoping he could still maybe try to blindside his opponent. That's where mind games come into play, right? That's where he's hoping that ShoWTimE, because he scouted him, believes that he won't make any Mutas, so hoping that maybe there's a few amount of Phoenixes and maybe damage can still be done. But ShoWTimE, he had 3 Phoenixes, he had a second Stargate, he had a Fleet Beacon on the way, he had cannons in position. He was perfectly fine. GG, well played. So it's a big risk, a big gamble there from Rogue to still go for the Mutas after being scouted, and with that, we're now getting into game number 2, going to be loading into 10,000 feet. Let's go. Let us go. So we're getting into our next game. Yo, Tobin in the chat. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás, papi? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. Wish to see you. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the red Protoss player. We have the German Protoss representing Sentinels, leading series 1-0. It is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player himself. Down in the series, we'll see if he bounces back. It is Rogue. Here we go. go. So now we are going to be, slipping into our second game. So far we do have our standard openers, and we'll keep an eye on our players as once again Rogue is forced to take the unnatural natural, once again forced to expand at the third location. We saw that last game this didn't really mean anything. Like ShoWTimE, he wasn't overly aggressive, he wasn't really overly assertive across the map, so we kind of built up into a longer game state. But now we're loading into 10,000 feet, a much smaller map, a shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is more favored here, and we could see that from either player. ShoWTimE is known for his defensive prowess, that is true, from years gone by, but in recent times, in recent meta, in recent years, ShoWTimE can be a lot more cheesy. He is a lot more cheesy, far more than he used to be. So he's willing to all in. I'm still thinking about his series against Raynor, where he just adapted the hell out of Raynor. That was last year. That was in the road to EWC. It was like 3 or 4 games in a row. Like, it was like he's done it before. Raynor. There we go. So now we are going to be building up. So far, standard openers. We'll soon keep an eye on the gas income on the tech of choice. Pulls out of gas, gets link speed, and nothing crazy early on. There's no like 3-minute layer timing or anything like that. When it comes to all-ins, we'll keep an eye on any early tech. Again, German taxis are very much so a thing here on 10,000 feet. We have seen Rogue double down and go and try to mine through these mineral patches. I mean, hey, we saw that over the weekend in RSL. If you missed that, I do recommend it. We saw some hyper cheese out of Rogue throughout the entire series against Max. And if you recall, here on 10,000 feet did go for a proxy hatch. Proxy hatch here did actually have some workers mining through the patches and did try to all in. Here, of course, more of a standard setup. No proxy, no shenanigans. Is more than willing. Ooh, as the drone gets caught out. Yeah, drone gets caught out. The drone does fall. Big denial here of the natural. Big denial. Ay, ay, ay. From here we're building up. Adaptation to main. So far getting 1 drone. Oh, no, nothing's in position. So 1, 2, soon to be 3 drone kills. This is already getting out of hand. Yeah, this is getting out of hand here. This is critical damage. 5, yeah, 5 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. Great game ending damage. GG, and ShoWTimE will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the semis. Ay, ay, ay. GG, well played. That should not have happened. At this level of play, you cannot afford to lose that many workers. Again, Rogue, he did have a pair of extra lings, but he was split. So if you remember, winding it back a little bit here, we spoke about how, oh, you know, like, expanding at the unnatural natural didn't really come into play last time. Like, he should be fine. I think Rogue thought so as well. He had his link split between his third and his main, or his main and his unnatural natural. So he had less lings in position. Adept shaded into the main base. It killed both lings, and he had some miscontrol, some mismicro when it came to saving his workers. And he lost 5 drones and 2 lings, and he was going to lose more. He was going to lose more in the main base. That is unacceptable damage at the solo play that early on. GG. GG, well played. Oh. And with that, ShoWTimE will claim the series. It will advance on into the semifinals. A very short game too, and I'll be honest, I was expecting a little bit more length out of these games, or I was expecting a lot more mid-game, more of a back and forth. And we kind of got that in game 1, kind of, but again, Rogue, he was very bold. He went for his tech path, he got scattered, he got shut down. Here, just got quote-unquote checked in the early game, and GG. GG, well played. With that, ShoWTimE does advance on, and Rogue is out of the tournament. Yeah, Rogue is out.